Alrighty, folks, we're going to take a look at the last problem on the Advanced Algebra Problems Homework Worksheet. This one's talking about standard deviation and this idea called the empirical rule, which we didn't focus heavily on, but we did definitely test you on when we took that edge elastic assessment. Basically, the empirical rule states that standard deviation sort of clusters sets of data on what we call the normal distribution. And so whenever you have a mean, we expect that most of the data is very close to it. In fact, approximately 68% of the data is within one standard deviation, either above or below the mean in each direction. If you go further, if you extend two standard deviations, so another standard deviation, one and one make two standard deviations, you end up getting something that is approximately 95% of all data fits from here to here. If you went through one more standard deviation, you would get 99.7 fall within three. But typically, these are the most common, 1 and 2 standard deviations away from the mean. So the way you use that to answer a question is relatively simple. You just need to find out, based on the information given to you, well, how many standard deviations are away from the mean? And in this case, if the mean is 120, then that means I am plus 10 and minus 10 away from that mean to get to 130 and 110, talking about IQ scores. What we're talking about is irrelevant. It's just a matter of how many standard deviations of this. And this is 1 and -1. And for that reason, this will encapsulate, using the empirical rule, approximately 68% of all people. If you were 2 standard deviations, then I would have said that it's 95% of all people. And if it would have been 3 standard deviations, then I would have said 99.7% of all people. Once you get into the 4 or 5 standard deviations away from the mean, you're talking about literally something so far out there that like over 99% of the population will fall within that range. So basically everyone. Don't know if this is true about IQs, by the way. Feel like 120 is kind of high, but I don't honestly know.